Jason Longsjo, please report to podium. Beer gardens, get ready. The Boulder is open with their beer garden. That's going to fill up with Legends riders later on. Beautiful color, FATV, Break Access to TV.org. You can stream it on your phone. We're about to get underway with our podium presentation morning races. 3 races we will recognize. It will be our 50-plus hour.
Boy, Richard Karen Bagan has put in 2 wonderful days in this stage race, and he's right up in the front again. And a tenacious rider that you keep coming back day after day. So, the excellent stage rider. Centipede rider going down, and it might be Patrick Ruan, tall, stately looking gentleman, our cross-country skier out there, riding for Centipede. Bruce Neal, another rider from the Centipede Club, who was very, very active for many years on the velodrome. Good bike handler. White Stephanie also will be in a women's race in a little bit. Also another good bike handler.
Hey, for those of you who are waiting for our podium presentation, our members were MIA, our members in Jersey have been located, and the podium presentations will at last be underway in just about 5 minutes. The medals and jerseys are heading this way, so once again, your podiums will be coming up in just about 5 minutes for real. Thank you.
3 riders dangling right in front of the field, and the riders were able to take a look up, and they saw 17 laps to go. 17 to go.
Crespo.
I've been waiting for the front of the field to kind of break apart a little bit because there's a lot of excellent riders, and many of them, Toby Schultz and Don Sive and all of these riders, Paul Richards and Tyler Monroe, they all rode at 50 plus for a little bit of a warm-up, and now they're coming through and they're riding the 40 plus, which in the last 2 stages, and they kicked off on Friday night in Leominster, Massachusetts, and put in a very, very fast event there, and it was a tricky course. And then last night they were over in Worcester, which was blistering fast. And here they are again today for the 3rd and final stage, but they've already dropped 1 race under their belt. Some of these riders that were 50 and over, they wanted to loosen up a little bit after last night, and here they're doing double duty today. They can handle it. One rider up out of the saddle, coming up into the stop finish line is 16 laps remaining in the bike race. Dominic Campolo out of Lewiston, Maine. Again, I'll get to see him up at the Yarmouth Clam Festival in Yarmouth, Maine. That's going to be over the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of July. Big festival in Yarmouth, Maine. Thousands and thousands of people pass through in 3 days for the festival. And Saturday morning is a running race, and they get thousands of riders, runners in the running race, and then Sunday morning they have a women's race and a men's race. And we conjure up quite a few dreams and a lot of heavy money up there. It's the most money the women will ever see. And a lot of them come up there and work on their sprints and bring a wheelbarrow with them because they're going to make some cash. Very enthusiastic crowd. That race has been going for over 50 years. Two of the riders are on the course. They're coming through a short stretch down at the bottom of the back straightaway. We're going to make a now they're coming up through the main street. We're going to send them on their way. They have 15 laps to go. Joe Rodriguez out of the Cyclonaut. He hails from Long Meadow, Massachusetts, right at the front of the field. Joe Rodriguez, he's been around for quite a few years. He also promoted a lot of races for the Cyclonaut. He's put a lot of himself back into the sport of bicycle racing. Joe Rodriguez. Sal Ardania. I often remember Sal Ardania. He's aware of a lot of X-1, but a fantastic promoter for food. And I tandem with Sal, and we would run out of 4-7. He would go to a race in Nigeria on a Tuesday and Thursday nights. I would run a sprint game, and both of us, we had a good field of rivals each night. Sal, great seeing you. I often wonder whether you're able to get back on the bike at all. Really, for some odd reason, anybody that's getting possibly out of running shoes, you did get through that. You get on the bike, a little more trouble, and all the joints that you drop.
Well, it's amazing how you do. You've got to get yourself into pretty good shape. You're still working with your dad?
Oh, yeah, yep, that's going very well.
Is he retired?
Semi-retired. You know, can't stop them. You know, they don't like to stop. Like you.
Yeah, you know what the story is with that? Your dad and I, we figure if we stop and slow down, we're going to rust. And we don't want that to happen. Sal, great seeing you. Always a pleasure. You gave a lot to the sport of bicycle racing. The field all together coming through the start-finish line area. And over the last 2 stages, Jeremy Brazil has been one of these animators. He rides for Etna Expo Wheelman. He's out of Manchester, Connecticut. And he has been a player in every one of the stages we've been at.
With that, Mr. Ring, we're getting ready for our podium presentation. We are going to start with our women's category 3-4 to get them ready, as some of the women have to race later in the day. We are organizing our medals right now, so top 3 women are being asked to report to the podium, which is the gazebo.
You know, Doug Dale and I, we were talking about Richard Freeze that runs a cyclocross event, and it's bigger than any national championship I've ever been to. And it's down in Rhode Island. Keep your eye open. If you want to see fantastic riders on a terrific venue, make sure you visit Rhode Island when Richard runs his cyclocross event. It's a 2-day, actually it runs into 3 days, because they have a Grand Fondo on Friday and then the racing on Saturday and Sunday. They come in from all over the United States. If you cannot get to the national championships, make your way to Rhode Island, because it's bigger than a national championship. Doug, enjoy yourself. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Dick. Thanks. The voice of Fitchburg, New England, and the East Coast.
Thanks, Doug. That's a lot to cover. But we've had a lot of fun over the years, that's for sure. Doug, we hope your recuperation goes well.
Mr. Ring, we're going to go on to our women's podium.
What an idea, Richard. I'm trying to look around. Where are you?
We are up by the gazebo. If you are trying to get all of our women to the podium, top 3 on the day, we're going to get underway here right now. Jason Longsjo will assist me. Our third place rider in this event, CRCA Velo Classic, powered by Stan's No Tubes, is Caitlin Dow. And racing for Tall Socks Racing out of Portland, Maine, it's Stephanie McAgee to the podium in second. And our winner of the 55th running of the Fitchburg Longsjo Classic, Cody Harris out of Maine. Cody Harris. The Von Trapp Singers. The Von Trapps. Ms. McAgee, thank you for showing up for your podium presentation today. Wonderful. We are getting our 50-plus men's podium as well. Men's 50-plus, we'd like to take care of your podium as well. In our men's 4-5 race today, Cannondale Sport, Jingo out of Concord, Mass. Please bring up Big Ben Walton. Right out of Unionville, Ontario, for Williams College, please bring up Matt Davies, your list. And, hold on. Gentlemen, Omnium points, Omnium points, Omnium points. Croteau off the And your winner in this category, racing out of nearby Sterling, Massachusetts for Optimum Performance, Jerome Gerard. That qualified as an awkward family photo right there. Men 50-plus, Matt Cressy, Paul Richard, we are looking for you at podium. Matt Cressy, Paul Richard to podium. Back to live racing. Dick Ring with the call. We're going to hold off on the 50 plus until we get those riders organized.
If one of the bike riders falls down.
Well, I just realized the race winner in the 50 plus, Paul Richard, is actually in this race, so we're going to hold off on that for him. Meanwhile, want to let everyone know the audio and visual of FATV is now running down at Food Court, which is down on Boulder Drive. So you can stop by and check it out. The TV and the audio is running down at Boulder Drive with the Food Court.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move in on the Masters, the 40 plus. As we mentioned, this is their third and final stage of this stage race. They raced in Leominster on Friday night, a dynamite event, great course, very, very tricky. And then last night we were all in Worcester, Massachusetts, and today for the final stage, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Gentlemen, 10 laps remaining in the bike race. 10 laps to go. Earlier today, we had the 50 plus, and Paul Richards, who won last night, ended up winning it due to the fact, again, he had a very, very strong team getting him to the front. Matthew Cressy, who Richard and I have been watching for the last two stages, and a very, very capable rider, came in second. Third spot was Chris Chung 10, and Chris Chung 10, for years, he was an outstanding pro rider and always traveled with his family, and I did not zero in, but he ended up in third spot, and Gerard Cates ended up in fourth. Toby Schultz, who's had a wonderful stage race, ended up in fifth spot. Joe O'Gara out of New York ended up in 6th. 7th spot went to Don Saib, a cross-country skier from Maine. And Jeff McIntosh ended up in 8th spot. In 9th was Gary Sadzweski and riding for Wheelworks. And 10th was David Potter. Tyler Monroe sitting second wheel going up through. This, ladies and gentlemen, is your category 40 plus on the road. The riders saw 9 to go on the last lap, and when they hit the line, I believe they're going to be looking at 8 laps remaining in the bike race. A lot of the riders that went into the 50-plus race earlier, they had a little bit of a chance to get a rest, and now they're into the category 4 due to the fact that they've compiled points for the leaders, and it's a compilation of all 3 races combined. Pace vehicle coming up into the home straightaway. 3 riders, a little bit of a break. 2 riders trying to get on, and then the rest of the field. Riders are looking at 8 laps to go. 8 to go, gentlemen. 8 laps to go. Karen Magnan riding for CCB. Very, very fine rider. He hails from Ireland, and he's ridden in many, many international stage races. He's very familiar with the format and very capable individual and very strong, very durable. Again, another one of Steve Pucci's riders. Eric Nadeau, riding for Team E-Trace, bib number 252, is sitting second wheel. Tyler Monroe is right up there on him. They're down into the back straightaway, the fastest part of the course. People are very, very fortunate up here at the Commons, where there's a little bit of shade. And years ago, as I mentioned, we used to grab the lawn chairs and come up here and have my family veg out in the shade. And you can see the riders coming and going. They come up the main straightaway, up around the upper common, and then you watch them rocketing down the back straightaway. The riders are at the bottom of the long backstretch, and now they're through a short street, and they're onto the main drag. They're going to be popping out and coming up by the City Hall. We're going to see them in just a couple of minutes, sending them on their way for yet another lap. We're getting down into the single numbers. When they hit the line, they're going to be looking at 7 laps remaining in the bike race. Look at this. Sarah's got an automatic deal going here, just like a garage door opener. We're giving them another lap. It's 7 to go, gentlemen. 7. Lucky 7. The tempo is picking up a little bit. A couple of riders trying to get away from the field. Joe Lynch, down east, racing. Wyndham, Maine. Joe Lynch, I know doggone right well. We're going to see him at the Yarmouth Clam Festival. They've got a great, great crew of riders that started off a couple of years ago up in Maine, and they've really developed into quite the contingent of championship riders. Joe Lynch heading down that back straightaway. He's got his nose on the front wheel, and he is flying down there. Eric Nadeau, Team E-Race. Well, Eric Nadeau, John Fry has given me a little insight. He said he is a coach of a college team, a runner. He was quite the runner himself when he was in college. Probably ended up with a scholarship because he was an excellent student. I knew that. But Eric Nadeau keeps himself in excellent shape. Belchertown, right up in John Fry's neck of the woods. In 1995, Eric Nadeau ended up with a bronze medal in the World Championships for indoor track. So you're talking about somebody that knows how to train, knows how to ration his efforts, and a very savvy individual, besides the fact he's a coach. He's passing on a lot of valuable information. Points, points. We've got points. 3 places up for grabs for points. Joe Lynch going up the road, also right on him. Scott Bentley right up in there. They're getting up into the upper common. Then they're going to shoot down the backside. It's a bell. Omnium points. What took place here when you say, okay, what's that all about? They started off with the first stage in Leominster, Massachusetts, and they started with the first night of Omnium points. And they have 3, 2, 1 for points. 5, 3, 2. That's the order of points. And during the course of a race, they have a few competitions where they ring a bell. And after each stage, they add the points. And at the end of the stage race, they have the pot of gold for the possibly the top 3 that accumulated the most points over the 3 stages. So it's an ongoing thing. It's not just one day. They've accumulated these points over 3 days. I noticed that Kyle Gates is in this event, riding for Wheelworks. He hails from Dorchester, Massachusetts. Gerald Harris has put in a wonderful stage race, being a player in all 3 stages, including this one. Ryan LaRocque, another good rider. Karen Magan, riding for CCB. He has placed in a couple of these stages. He could be one of the top 10 here today also. He hails from Ireland. You're going to look at 6 to go? 5. Okay, 5. 5 laps to go, gentlemen. 5. 5 to go.
Todd Bowden grabbing that one right there. We are inside of 5 laps to go. No more free laps, gentlemen. The leader's jersey worn by his teammate David Hildebrand.
Todd Bowden ended up winning that one. Todd Bowden, he's been trying to accumulate points over the last couple of days. He's done well at it, and he's just added a few more. 5 points for a win, 3 points for second, 2 points for third. Jerome Cattell also grabbed some points, along with Miles Billings. miles riding for 545 Velo. Coteau, Team Specialized. Out of California. Out of Redwood, California. Made the long trek to compete in the Longsjo Classic. He had read about this race over the years and wanted to take part in it and found the opportunity. Jumped on a plane with his bike, and he's here competing for the last couple of days. He's been a player each stage. Jason Coteau, Minuteman Road Club, another rider that started off as a junior rider here in New England and has worked his way up through to the pro ranks, and now he's into the 40 plus. It's amazing. They take a look and they say, wow, where did the years go? All of a sudden, I was a junior rider and now I'm riding in the 40 plus. It happens. You get down to 5 laps to go. Now, the next time through, they're going to look at 4, and this is where things are going to start to heat up a little bit. Everybody's going to swarm to the front, trying to get on the good wheel to get themselves in position for the final lap. But right now, you get one rider breaking away, trying to get off the front of the field. He's looking at 4 laps to go. Massimili, Acapulco, Horse Engineering, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Pull out this.
Horse Engineering, I didn't think that the club was still in existence, but living proof it is. It started about 3 decades ago, had a very, very big club, and then it kind of dwindled a little bit. One rider I've watched up near the front of the field, all 3 stages, Jeremy Brazil, Etna Expo Wheelman, Manchester, Connecticut. He wants to be up where the action is and doesn't want to get caught behind. He figures if anything's going up the road, he wants to be with it. Riders are heading down the back straightaway. They're all bunched up. I'm looking at CCB making their way up into the front of the field. Team Horse, he's still out front. Now they just shot through that short street. They're down at the bottom of the home straightaway. They're going to make their way up. And when they do, now we're really getting down into the final stages of this race. They are going to be looking at 3 laps to go when they hit the line. Three laps to go, gentlemen. They're all swarmed at the front. Everybody's looking for the good wheel, trying to get a position. It's going to be wild on the back straightaway. 3 laps to go. And I keep looking at Jeremy Brazil, Etna Expo Wheelman out of Manchester, Connecticut, in the red-black jersey. He's got a good team here today. Through the upper common. Now they're starting that very, very fast stretch down into the back straightaway. And again, everybody's maneuvering, trying to get on the good wheel. CCB has moved up into the front. We're going to see if the other teammates, Paul Richards and Tyler Monroe, and Jim Nash, Dave Hildebrand, he's moved up all the players from yesterday. They want to see if they can't get some more points and place in the top 10. Jeremy Cattell and Hildebrand, they went at it last night. And actually, they went at it in Leominster.
Next race up will be the category 3-4s. We will be looking for our top 10 to be on the front row.
Rich, they're all bunched up, Rich. This ought to be a good one. Send them on their way.
We are looking at 2 laps to go, gentlemen. 2 to go. Look at the flying wedge. Led by Minuteman Road Club. Jason Croteau being set up. Jason Croteau's got a lead-out man, but that lead-out man, Dick Ring, I think is there too early. That's a lot of wood that will be pushing around. He still has a lap and a half before Croteau takes over.
Hey, Rich, one thing that was very prominent that Karen Magan, riding for CCB out of Brighton, Massachusetts, he's placed in races so far, and he has worked his way up in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, and he's really preying on that. I don't know if Paul Richard can win back-to-back. He won the 50-plus. Can we see him win the 40-plus as well? Nervous category 3-4 is assembling for their race next.
They're all bunched together, and things are gonna really cut loose here, because when they come up into the line, they're gonna hear a bell sending them on their way for the championship lap. But nobody has been able to get away, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought you'd see some team tactics, see if we couldn't split this field up a little bit. Not to be. Everybody's hungry, everybody's watching the wheel. Nobody's gonna move without them being on it. They're through the short straight down at the bottom of the long back straightaway. They slam into a left-hand corner for a short street, and then another left-hand down at the base of the long hill coming up into the finish line. They're heading up toward the old town hall. We're going to see them in a couple of minutes. And then Richard is going to send them on their way for their final lap of the bicycle race. Richard, they're on you.
We are watching one big flyer at CCB. It's 1 to go. I don't know if he knows it's 1 to go. And that's going to be a big flyer. 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go. Wow. Paul Richard going. That's Paul Richard's teammate going up the road right there.
Alan Pimentel, now he's been laying in the weeds. We haven't seen him over the last couple of days. He hails from Portland, Maine, riding for CCB, and evidently they said, all right, go out, soften them up. Let's see what they've got. And Pimentel down into the back straightaway. Everybody reacted. They got on his wheel.
They are drilling it right now. CCB, you've got a splash of pink there, Dick Ring. Look at, they've got everybody together in the group. I think the idea was send one rider off, make the others chase, and assemble for your sprint. So this is brilliant Wolfpack tactics. The horns of the bull. Look at CCB. 1, 2, 3 riders assembled at the front of the bunch, but they don't need to be in the wind. They force the others to chase. If they win with the solo effort by Pimentel, that's good. If they got to go to their sprinter, Paul Richard, equally as good.
CCB is stacked at the front, Richard, so we're going to see a little bit of team action when they turn the corner and head up into the main street. They're on that short stretch. They're out of it. They're down at the bottom of the main straightaway. They're going to be coming up at us, and this is it.
Early move right there. You can see it on FATV, FATV.org, bringing you the coverage all day. And now we've got a big push. That looks like a Whitman's bike barn rider trying to go from a ways out. That's too long to go in my opinion, but he's making it stick. Look at this move, a big move, a big man out of the saddle. He can see it, but down the stretch they come. Paul Richard is coming. Paul Richard is coming. He will not get there. Winner, Edna Todd Bowden. It is Bowden. Richard, we go to the camera for third.
Hey, Richard, his timing was absolutely perfect. Wow. What a sprint up into the line. He opened up enough of a gap on Paul Richards, so Paul didn't have a chance, but Paul ended up in second spot. Beautiful performance. Joe Lynch, you put in a wonderful race. Nice job, Joe.
There's the rider that set it up there with that last lap blast. Got good enough for second. Paul couldn't do it. Coming around Todd Bowden.
Jason Courteau ended up there in third spot.
That should be a good finish result for Courteau and the Omnium as well.
Boy, Todd Bowden really lit it up. He was right up near the front going down that back straightaway. He knew exactly where he wanted to be.